Hello, Scorpio, and welcome to your March overview reading. This is Sherry at Soul Conscious Tarot. I thank you so much for joining me this month. I want to quick notes before we get into your reading. First off, when I hit 500 subscribers, I plan on doing a free giveaway. I know I'm still a little ways away, but I want to start doing that now so we can get closer to that number and I can do that giveaway. So if you're not a current subscriber, please hit that subscribe button and subscribe to my channel and get us closer to that 500 mark so I can do that free drawing. Also, hit that like button down below. It's the best way to show your support for any of us readers out there. It gets our videos circulated more so that it gets out to more people. So doing that one little thing, it doesn't take much effort to just hit that like button and show your support for us so that our messages get out to more and more people out there and can benefit more people than just yourself. Also want to mention that if you've watched these readings in the past, the monthly overview readings, that you'll notice this format's a little bit different than my formats in the past, my previous format. I'm trying this out for size, so if you've watched ones in the past and this one, let me know in the comments down below which one you like better and why, and so I can take that in consideration, because I'm here to help you guys, so the people that support me and watch me, so I will implement as many recommendations as I can, based on the fact that this is something I do in my spare time for free for you guys around a full-time job. So I am limited in what I can and can't do, but I will do as much as I can. So with all of that being said, this is a general message. It may or may not resonate with you. So take that, take anything in the reading with a grain of salt. And if it's not your message, it's not your message. It won't be for everyone, but I pull the messages that come through the channel through, and I never know what those are going to be, so we just go with it. Now what I've done is I've pulled a bunch of oracle cards here to save some time, and I also I have this chest here that I have had on my table. I have pretty much every reading that is full of crystals, and so I decided this month, felt like pulling crystals for everyone, and for you, Scorpio, you got the amethyst crystal here that's in the shape of a wand. So this can talk about two things. I think it hits on two aspects. One, it can talk about spiritual wisdom, and maybe getting more in tune with your psychic abilities if you have them, or spiritual gifts. Also, it also can be a crystal that represents to help you reduce stress. It may be an indication that you might be under a lot of stress at this time, and there's a need to reduce some stress in your life. But let's go ahead and see what we have here in your oracle cards that I pulled for you, Scorpio. We have compassion. This is the Oracle of Unicorns deck. This is compassion. Be gentle with yourself. Forgiveness will set you free. See light in yourself and others. I love this because one of the things that the amethyst, and I didn't touch that, I love this is purple and purple too. One of the things that amethyst can help with is selflessness. And this compassion wraps that up, selflessness. So maybe, that might be an important aspect this month of March, is about walking in, being compassionate and selfless. Forgiving others for maybe things they've done, maybe said or done to you, and understanding that, not everyone knows what they do, that it's okay to be good to yourself, to do right by yourself, and especially if you're under a lot of stress and anxiety under this time, it's okay to do what you need to do to take care of yourself and to pamper yourself and make yourself better, whether that be physically, mentally, or emotionally. It's okay to take care of yourself and be not only compassionate with others, but compassionate with yourself. And really uh, be kind to yourself. And through that kindness, it'll spread outward and go outward to others. Okay, this is a little bit difficult energy. We have the 19 dragons layer. This is a very cold. Maybe you feel like things have been, rather bleak and cold around you, where it's been difficult. Fire dragons can breathe fire as well. And maybe you've had some people that have been a little bit challenging and difficult around you, and that's why it's calling for that compassion and forgiveness from you. And then we have 24, the calm within, that's the sacred geometry. This was the enchanted map oracle, by the way, and that's sacred geometry. And then we have the essential oils. You have wintergreen, trust. The trigger statement is, what if something happens? And then the true statement is, I take my hands off of the wheel. You are not alone. The universe is working with you. Relax and enjoy the adventure. Okay. So I really think that it's talking about the month of March might be a time for you to take a break. It might be time for a break, a vacation. It might be time to reduce your stress, to be gentle with yourself, be compassionate with yourself, forgive yourself for any places in your life where you've been hard on yourself, whether that's, you've been, overworking yourself, or you've been beating yourself up mentally, or where you've pushed yourself to the point of exhaustion. Whatever that you've been doing where you've maybe pushed yourself beyond your limits, or not taken the best care of yourself, now is the time to do that. It's really calling strongly to basically step back and step out of your own way, and just let things unfold naturally the way they need to. And not necessarily always. I almost feel like there's maybe, Scorpio, there's been a need to control things within your life, and now is the time to take your hands off the wheel and let go of that control, the areas in your life where you felt the need to control, because that may have been what's causing or leading to your stress and anxiety, is this need to control things in some way. And we all can control things in different aspects of our lives. It's up to you to look at and determine if there's areas in your life where you have been, where you have felt the need to take control and to keep yourself in control, and where you don't trust that the universe has your back in some area, where you don't feel safe to take your hands off the wheel and let things just happen the way that they need to happen. And then for the past lives, you have monk or nun. I just feel like that's tying into that spiritual wisdom that we talked there, spiritual wisdom. And then for your emoji card, you have the upside down smiley. I kind of feel like that's my bouncy. I always see that and I feel like it's bouncing, my bouncing smiley. Which is kind of a card of, it can be just kind of going with the flow and letting things just unfold in their own time. Just strong message of taking your hands off the wheel, letting the divine step in and take charge of your life, trusting in something bigger than you, that everything will be okay and everything is as it should be. Everything will be as it should be, that it will all be good, it will all be okay, is what I think is a strong message here. So let's go ahead and get into your tarot portion of the reading. Here's Scorpio. So the way we're doing this section is we're going to do pull some cards for a general read, and then we're going to do love and romance, and then we're going to do career and finance. So this is for general message. You have the Emperor with the Six of Cups, the Chariot, Justice, the Four of Cups, the Two of Pentacles, the Nine of Cups, the Page of Swords, and the Strength card. Okay. So I feel like in something, there's been some place where you feel like you've been treated a little bit unfairly, which has been really hard for you to take. And I think this is where that forgiveness is coming in, where maybe you have tried to put your best foot forward, and tried to do something, and it didn't pan out the way that you had hoped it was going to pan out. And I think that you're a little bit disappointed, and that it didn't work out in your favor. You know, that it's like you don't understand why this didn't go the way you wanted it to go. And that has made things a little bit challenging for you. And it's like you really want things to go well in your life, but there's something that is just, you know, like you just are feeling, I just feel exhaustion, a big like there's sadness. I'm feeling sadness and exhaustion, like something just doesn't feel fair. That's coming through really strongly. I am getting the message that it might be good, and I don't know why this is coming up, but it is, so I'm going to say it. For some of you, there might be a health problem that you might need to get checked out, might need to get looked at. Only take that if it feels right for you. If you know there's been something that's been kind of eating at the back of your mind, or that you've been feeling off in a way, or feel like there might be a medical issue there, this is kind of, it's coming up to say that it might be time to see a doctor and get that checked out, or to learn more about what's going on, why you feel a certain way, or why you're having certain, like, almost feeling like it might be digestion related, but not 100% certain. That's just something that's coming through and may not be for everyone. But I definitely feel like, you know, there's unfairness and sadness that, and that may have, you know, resulted in you working really hard towards something, trying to step up and do the right thing, and it kind of not going the way that you wanted to. And now it's like, how do I get past this? How do I overcome where I'm at, where I feel like that I've been treated unfairly? And it's like you're almost at that point of wanting to just throw in the towel, so to speak, a little bit. I think on this, but I feel like, you know, this is where it's really calling for, the universe is calling for, you know, your trust, and to get out of the way, and let them take the wheels, and to forgive yourself, that to know that, you know, that there could be a reason here that you're not seeing, that this resulted in the outcome that came about, because it might have been that you were trying to force something or control a situation that the universe felt was not for your highest good, and they're trying to they're kind of almost maybe trying to put you in a timeout, so to speak. I hate to say it that way, but I almost feel like they're trying to put you in a little bit of a timeout, Scorpio, so that you have time to maybe get in this space of to trust the universe more, to maybe step back and see, maybe you were too close to the situation and you can't see why things happened the way they did, and which is why you're in that kind of upset and disappointment feeling, because it's requiring you to pull back and get farther removed from the situation so that you can understand why it happened, so that you can forgive the situation. And I feel like, with the Emperor coming out, there's it that can tie back to feeling like you need to control a situation, feeling like you were doing the right thing for you, what you felt was right, but it may not have been the best approach, but you were doing things in a way that you knew how, based on what you had been taught was the right way to do things. But there may have been a different way, and I think that there might have been a point where you were forcing something, trying to force something to happen, and putting in extra effort and energy that was not required, because you might have been a little bit challenged, and this was difficult because it wasn't a path you were meant to be on, and the universe is trying to, by making you feel this way, making you feel upset and disappointed, and feeling like the situation isn't fair. It's causing you to act in a certain way that will make you look at what went on, so that you can do that evaluation of the situation and learn and grow from it. It's basically a situation that the universe is trying to teach you something, and I think a part of that is learning to trust, not only trust the universe, but also to be compassionate and forgive yourself for maybe whatever occurred in this situation, to forgive yourself for that, for whatever actions that you took that felt like it wasn't enough, to know that everything has its time and its reason and its place. And I feel like all of this needed to happen for a reason, even though you might not be seeing what that reason is. So let's go ahead and move on to your romance, love and romance portion of the reading. Love and romance for Scorpio for the month of March, please. You have the Nine of Swords, the King of Swords, a lot of swords energy there, which is not something we necessarily want to see in a love reading. But we have the Judgment, the Wheel. That's good that it's changing. The Five of Pentacles, the Two of Swords, the Queen of Pentacles, the Five of Wands, and the Seven of Wands. So for this is telling me that things have been really difficult for you when it comes to relationships. And March is not going to be any different. It's going to be a little bit challenging. This is really calling out that stress and anxiety. Maybe you've been in a series of very challenging relationships that have caused you to maybe feel like things were unfair in some aspect, but it's up to us. Judgment here is usually about making a decision of some kind. It's making a decision, a judgment call, where we're making that decision to do something, where it looks like they're in the here we have indecision, but it's calling for a decision to be made. When it comes to something in your love life, there's a decision that needs to be made that you might not be looking at, or you're there's definitely some insecurity around, or around making this decision. There's a reason why you're holding off, that you're not, that you're waffling and not sure what decision to make when it comes to your love life here. So what I do feel like is changing, though, with the wheel here, I feel what is changing is the fact that that I think that you're going to be moving out, especially if you kind of heed the advice as far as compassion is concerned here, and you're willing to take some time for yourself to love yourself and forgive yourself, and try and reduce your stress. I think that you're going to be able to feel better about where you are, and what you maybe get, kind of change your circumstance of the stress, what's caused you stress in the past, changing the odds of that through healing. There's definitely healing that's being called for here to heal and reduce that stress and anxiety you have. And through doing that, you're going to be able to change how you see yourself. And through changing how you see yourself, Scorpio, and getting in this energy where you feel better and feel good where you are in life and with your life, I think things will get a little bit easier for you when it comes to love. But I feel like up to this point, and even in March, I think when it comes to, I think that you're just not in the right mental mind frame to be in a relationship at this time. I feel like you might be a little bit, have a little bit of a sharp edge in the month of March, might possibly bite people's heads off a little bit, and I think I don't think that you're intentionally meaning that. I think that you're just overwhelmed and under a lot of stress at this time. Like you're very, you might have a lot of anxiety, and as I said in the general read, I felt this feeling of unfairness and sadness and grief. And so it's just your emotional and mental state is not in a place to entertain people and to bring someone into your life. And so I think that you're just keeping your distance in a general. I just don't think that you're in the right mind frame to be out looking for a relationship at this time, because I think you're sorting through and dealing with some stuff that you need to overcome before you're ready to, this Five of Pentacles. I feel like you're leaving yourself out in the cold. You're pulling yourself out of the equation in the month of March, at least. And energies always can change, but this is coming out as someone that is needing time for themselves. Whether you take that time or not is going to be up to your free will and what you want to do for yourself. But I do feel like that is being called for, and I think that it would help you if you do find yourself where you're struggling mentally and emotionally for whatever reason, based on some injustice that you feel like you felt. It's up to you to determine that. But what this is telling me is that you might be a little bit cold to people in the month of March when it comes to starting relationships. You're just not being your best is what I'm going to say. You're not 100% your best. You're not putting your best foot forward. And it's completely understandable from what I'm seeing here, because you're just not you're not in the right space to start something new is what I get. So and that happens. We all go through that phases. So don't take it hard on yourself. If you're in a current relationship, or if you're married or if you're in a serious relationship, I'm going to say married here. You might be doing a lot of fighting with your spouse at this time. There might be, maybe there could be the fact that you feel unfairness with you, between you and your spouse, that maybe where some of that unfairness is coming, where there might have been talk about divorce. There could be arguments that's going on between you and your partner. Definitely where, and I think it's just because of where you are, Scorpio, mentally and emotionally, that you're not in a place for love right now, is what it comes down to. And that's okay. We all go through those phases. But I don't think you're doing the best job of possibly communicating that. If you're in a relationship or married to someone, you might not be doing the best job of communicating what's going on with you to the other person. I feel like you're coming off as more kind of cold and standoffish, almost biting someone's head off versus, and keeping your distance versus communicating your desires here, or communicating what's going on with you. And it might be because you're not even 100% sure what's going on with you. You just are just feeling, stressed, anxiety, maybe, a lot on your plate, a lot going on, a lot mentally and emotionally going on here, that you're trying to deal with and work with here in the month of March. So that's what I have for you for love and relationship. I know that wasn't not the greatest message, but what comes through is what comes through. And I'm sure somebody out there is probably resonating with that and understands that that probably is fitting what they understand their reality to be. So let's go ahead and get career and finance here. What do you have for career and finance? For Scorpios, please. Career and finance in March. Okay, you have the Six of Swords, the Page of Swords, the Hierophant, the Seven of Swords, the Knight of Swords, the Moon, the Three of Wands, the Queen of Cups, and the Four of Wands. Okay. You're definitely challenged, Scorpio, on a lot of fronts, for the month of March. Okay. It looks like to me the month of March might be a little bit difficult. I'm not going to say difficult. That's not the right word. I just feel like, that you're going to be dealing more with mental and emotional stuff within you versus things going on in your outside world. I don't think that there's a lot changing in your outside world. I think, you're going to be, in the month of March, you're going to be still working at the same job, doing the same thing. There's nothing really significant that's going to change other than what is changing within you. And so I think that is the real heart of the problem. And I think that, what really wants to really hit home when it comes to the month of March for you, Scorpio, is that you're just going to be doing some inner work. It's going to be focus on inner work. And by doing that inner work and getting right with yourself and healing some of these aspects that's been a little bit challenging for you, that maybe, maybe you have been, either not wanting to address or look at, or for whatever reason, maybe you weren't aware of them and now you're becoming aware of them, but you may still not be aware of what it's going to take to be able to have a solid foundation in something. When it comes to your career and finances, this can talk about, like celebration, but also like something that can be the beginning of something long lasting. It can talk about marriage, if you're talking about relationships, but in this context for career finances, it can talk about having a steady career that leads to something more substantial. And but with the Hierophant card here, and the moon, I think that there's something. It really is strongly telling me that there's something mentally, a way of thinking that needs to shift within you. That really needs to be looked at in March, because I feel it looks like it's affecting many areas of your life, and it's really contributing to the difficulties and challenges that you're seeing in your world around you. So, unfortunately, nothing significant is coming through for career and finance, other than to tell you, that it's going to be the same old for the most part. Although, I will say that there might be, there could possibly be a coworker that you might have a little bit of a challenge with. And the fact that because of that challenge, there may be a consideration to change departments, change positions, change jobs. Because of the challenges of a coworker that you have to deal with, that may come about. I do see that in this reading. So there's that, but other than that, nothing significant. There's no pentacles on the table here, so I'm not seeing anything that's going to increase or change your financial situation, at least not in the month of March. I have a bunch of cards slip out while I'm trying to pull the three final cards for you for the three final cards, and man, they are just the Nine of Swords again. Kept wanting to come out. I kept putting it back in, and it definitely wanted to come out because it kept flipping in a weird way. And then the Magician and the High Priest. So yeah, I really feel like there's this need to reduce this anxiety and stress. Whatever's causing really strongly pointing out that there's something, whatever is causing you this stress and anxiety, that's causing you this feeling of pain and burden in your life. It needs to be addressed. This is really calling to address this in the month of March. If you haven't yet, that you really should address this to transform and change this to understand, to look at and know that you have the ability to transform this, to know that you have everything it takes. The High Priest uses their inner wisdom, their inner knowledge to change things. The Magician has all the tools that they need to change something, to change their circumstance, and to make their life what they want to make it. And they know that they have the power to change their world, so to speak. And so, I feel like the important message here, really important, is if you're feeling yourself where there's some area of your life, Scorpio, that has been stressful, that keeps you up at night, or even if you're feeling anxiety in any way, if you're feeling stressed and anxiety, or feeling like almost defeated, feeling like something's unfair, feeling like that it's calling for that to be addressed and looked at this time. It's time to put that to bed. Put that to bed, to get rid of that, to overcome it, because that's going to be the key to really opening up a lot of things in your world. I think you don't realize what this is blocking in your world for you, Scorpio. And I think if you take the time to look at what it is that's causing that stress and anxiety and do something about it, it's going to really change things for you. It's going to be a big game changer. So that's what I have for you for the month of March. I thank you so much for joining me. If you haven't hit that like button yet, please do. I hope you'll consider doing that. Thank you so much for joining me. I wish you the best joy, love, and light.